over a certain army of men, a certain section. And so the king sent word for him to come and tell him how was the people doing out on the battlefield, how were they going in the war, how was the war, were they gaining ground or losing ground. So he wanted to know that. Of course, all this was deception. All right? So, here's what he did. Verse 8. David said to him, he said, go down to your house and wash your feet. Uriah departed out of the king's house and followed him a mess of meat from the king. But Uriah didn't go home. Verse 9. He wound up staying at the front door at the king's house. So, when they told David, saying Uriah, he didn't go down to the house, David said, Uriah, why didn't you go? He says, why didn't you go to your house? Verse 11. Uriah said to him, the ark and Israel and Judah besides in tents, and my lord Joab and the servants of my lord are encamped in an open field. Shall I go to my house, eat and drink, and lie with my wife? As thou livest, and as thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing. So he said, how can I go back home, eat, drink, and sleep with my wife when my guys is out on the battlefield in tents and fighting for their life? He says, no, I'm going to sleep right here in front of your door. And that's what he did. So David had to think, okay, all right, got to get him back to Bathsheba somehow. So here's what happens. He came the next morning, and he called him, and he told him to eat and drink. Before that, he made him drunk. And that evening, he went out to lie on his bed. And the servants of the Lord but went not down to his house. So he thought, well, here's what will happen. I'll get him drunk, and he'll go back home, and now he'll sleep with his wife. Well, Uriah, he got drunk. The Bible says that. He stumbers out, and Jimmy lies at the king's door again. He didn't go home. So, he wrote a letter saying, set it to Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, retire him there that he may be smitten and die. So he told Joab, he says, here's what's going to happen, all right? I've tried to get him home to his wife Bathsheba. I got him drunk, and he wouldn't go home to her. So he's trying to cover up his sin, all right? And so he says, here's what's going to happen. I want you to take him and put him out at where the worst battle is, put him on the front line. All right? Now, common sense tells you that if you're in a battle and you're on the front line, odds are, your life will be taken. And that's what King David. This is the same little David boy that killed Goliath. This is how much he's changed through history. So, look, if you will, at verse 16. And it came to pass, when Joab observed the city, he assigned Uriah to take the place where he knew that violent men were at. The men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people, the servants of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also. So now, he's accomplished a mission. All right? First thing was he tried to get him to sleep with his wife. No. Next thing was he's got to get him dead. He's got to be dead. So you think, well, what's that going to accomplish with her husband then? Well, play James. All right? And he charged the messenger, saying, when did you find the end of the telling of the matters of the war? Verse 20. And if so be that the king's wrath arise, we say unto you, wherefore approached you so nigh to the city? When did you fight? And they would shoot from the wall. Now skip down some. Look at verse 26. And when the wife Uriah heard that her husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. And here's where sin takes growth again. When the mourning was past, however long she mourned, David sent and fetched her to his house. She became his wife and bare him a son, but the thing that David had done, it displeased the Lord. You've got adultery, you've got deception, And now you've got the mercy. All right. Now, we're going to get into all the things that happen. First thing I want you to know, what you do in secret will not always be a secret. All right? So, David, late at night, he saw her and he thought, you know, it's late at night. Nobody will know the sin that I'm going to do. Because it's dark. It's getting dark. And so, the bad thing was that his fetish, his yearning for this woman, he thought they would just sleep together and nothing bad would happen, but lo and behold, she becomes pregnant. And so, the secret was he snuck her up to his house at the castle, and very few folks knew what was happening. And it just happened that when sin is done, it becomes harder to hide the sin. All right? So, when we sin and we try to hide, all right, whatever sin it is, it takes, all right, we mess up and we sin. We've got that sin first off, and then it starts seeping out our sin, what we've done. So then it takes another sin to cover that sin. If you follow me, say it again. All right, so David, his first sin was lusting. He lusted after Bathsheba. Second sin was adultery. Next sin was deception. He had to get rid of her husband or get him to sleep with her. And he said, I'm not going to have the pleasures of life when my men died in battle. And he wouldn't do it. So then the only alternative was, well, you've got to die. So sometimes when we sin, it backfires. You know what I'm talking about? Say amen. So sometimes when I sin and mess up and I think, well, old Roger, he's going to get by with it. Comes back to get it. How many's ever lied? How many's ever been caught before? All right? Now, the unique thing about lying, when I lie once, typically I have to lie again to cover the lie. And then, more than likely, I have to lie again to cover the second lie. And before long, I have forgotten how many lies I've told to cover the first lie. And so, in reality, our story changes because I can't remember the first lie I told, because it was a lie. And so, when sin backfires, now she's pregnant, and he said, well, God help me, I can't let everybody find out what I've done. I'm the king. The Bible states that David's a man after God's own heart. So he said, how can I prevent this from getting out? I messed up, I sinned, I slept with a woman I wasn't married to, so I've got to keep it from getting out. I can't let everybody know what my sin was. So we love to hide sin. Alright? Love to hide. Don't want anybody to know we've sinned, so we sweep it under the rug. We do what we can to get rid of the sin. And so, we take it, we do what we can to hide it. Alright? Had he just come flat out and told him, said, yep, I saw Bathsheba, she was a foxy lady, I slept with her, and that's that. I messed up, end the story, she's pregnant with my child, and we'll just deal with it. They didn't want anybody to know. Alright? They didn't want anybody to know. So, that's like when we have things in our life we do, but we don't want anybody to know we do it. You know what I'm talking about, say it. Alright? Some folks have two different refrigerators. They have a refrigerator in the kitchen. For if the company's over, everything looks great. Then they have a refrigerator in their room or in their basement. And it has other beverages that you don't want anybody else to know you do it. It's your business, but guess what? It's no longer a secret. People know. The people's not that naive. All right? Then we think, well, I will only talk a certain way around certain people. All right? So if I'm around the deacon or the preacher or a Sunday school teacher, I'll talk the church talk. But then when I'm around a bunch of heathens, guess what? I'll talk the heathen talk. All right? So then we try to cover it up because, well, a certain group of folks will do a certain thing, and then around other folks will do something else. So, when this sin backfired, everything kept getting worse and worse for David. You know, what he thought was one little sin, which was a big no-no, turns out to be death on his hands, lying on his hands, adultery on his hands, and he really married a woman he shouldn't have married. But he married her to cover up his sin. All right, now let's look at what else happened. How many of you would agree that sin comes at a price? All right? Sin will always cost you more than you want to pay. It's never free. Sin is something that you may do when you think nobody's watching, but guess what? Somebody's always watching. Now here's a phrase that I like. You are who you are when you're by yourself. You ever thought about that? You are who you are when you're by yourself. So if I'm by myself, I may do things that I wouldn't do if Chad was here. Chad may do things by himself that he wouldn't do if his father-in-law was with him. I might be so great in front of you, but by myself I may be just odd. So, in reality, we are who we are, Jim, when we're by ourselves. We may drink a little something. We may talk a little dirty talk. We may watch a little pornography. We may cheat on our spouse. We may do certain things when nobody's watching. What they nobody will know that I've seen. Here's what happens because of his sin. The nation went through 7 years of famine. 7 years. Because of his sin. Now I'm satisfied in that 7 years a lot of folks died. So that was on. Next thing that happened, pestilence took over the kingdom. Third thing, they began losing their battle. Instead of winning and being at the top of everything, they started losing. So, not only did he commit adultery, deception, murder, lying, now the people in his kingdom are dying because of 7 years of famine. They are going through pestilence. There's bugs and insects that's taking over. And then those guys that's out in the battle, they're losing. They're fighting. The Bible tells us way over in the book of Mark. I've got one thing I want you to listen to. All right? One verse. Very fitting for David. Jesus is doing the talking here. Mark 4:22. There is nothing hid which cannot be manifest, neither was anything kept secret, but that it should come abroad. In reality, there's nothing done in the dark that won't come to the light. So, Jesus is doing the speaking there, and when you think about David's story, he done it in the evening. Jimmy didn't do it in broad daylight. A lot of our sins, we do it in the dark time. All right? We do it when it's least likely that anybody will catch us. All right? Odds of us being caught in the dark is slimmer than in the light. If I was going to break into your house, odds are I'd come at night when you wasn't home. All right? It's at dark. I wouldn't come during the daylight when folks could see me. You'd come at night. So, David's sin happened in the dark. And in his mind, he thought, nobody will know. But Jesus says later on, 1,000 years later, see, David was approximately 1,000 years before Jesus. Jesus says, what's done in the dark undoubtedly will come to the light. So, kids and adults, whatever you do that you think nobody knows, well, you're just nuts. God knows, and not only does God know, everybody else will know eventually. Sin has a unique way of destroying your life. Sin has a unique way of making your life miserable. So not only does sin come at a price, and it causes death, it causes deception, it caused in this story adultery, It caused famine. It caused pestilence. It caused a lot of things that one night, I don't know how long it was, but one evening, basically ruined his life. Now, later on, David realized, he says, I have got to get back in grace with the Lord. And Jim, he repented of his sin. Although we may repent and we may ask Jesus to forgive us, the reality of that sin is there's still a payment for it. Although Jesus forgave him, God forgave him, there was still 7 years of famine, there was pestilence, there was enemies that went against him, people died, the land got in a horrible condition because of one man's sin. So when you sin, here's what most people say. Preacher, that sin only affects me. That's the biggest lie that was ever told. You see, the way I look at sin on a personal level, if I sin, all right, personally, it not only affects me, but then, Chad, it affects my wife, my children, and then it affects the church. Say amen. Amen. So, when you sin, guess what? It's not just Tabitha's sin, but it affects everybody closely related. Maybe more. So when you mess up, and when you say, well, if I want to get drunk, if I want to cheat on my wife, I want to do this or that, it only hurts me. That's a lie. Some people that's young, they'll say, well, you know, it's just me. It's just me if I cheat on the test. It's just me if I lie to the teacher. It's just me if I lie to my parents. Oh, no. It affects you, and then the parents, then the teacher, then anybody that's watching you. They all start paying attention to how you respond. So, sin will always cost us more than we want to pay, and it will always affect more people than just you. If it only just hurt you, most of us would do more, would say, well, you know, sin really ain't that bad, it's just me. But in reality, it hurts everybody. Now, is there some sins that folks have committed that's closely related to you that you paid for? Sure. Sure. Is there sins that you've done that your spouse, your children, your parents have kind of paid for along the way? Absolutely. Absolutely. So sin grows, and it's just like a cancer. It just consumes everybody that's close to it. If I start talking dirt, all right? And I start using God's name in vain and using all these dirty words, and I start telling it to my 3 kids wherever they're scattered at. And before long, they start telling it. Well, then they tell it to Aiden, then they tell it to Mr. Clark here, and they start telling all these other guys these dirty words. And guess what? Now they say, well, the preacher's cussing, so and his 2 daughters cuss, and his little boy's cussing, so I'm cussing with them. So then they go home and they tell their parents, well, you know, Caroline, she cussed. She says her daddy does it, so we're all going to do it. So see, just because I mess up, then Tabitha, guess what? It hurts everybody closely related. If I come in and throw one god-awful fit and ram my hand through the drywall at the house and slang things and start cursing and ripping the TV out and pulling the phone jack, if you still got a house phone, out of the wall and just having a fit, guess what? Kids will do the same thing. That's the way Dad acts. Acts like a geezer, and I'll act just like him. Now, I don't do any of that, but better to use me as an example than Dr. Rising. Amen? So, you see, here it is. When I sin, it hurts everybody around. David is a prime example. He says, well, what's done in the dark will stay in the dark. That's a big lie. What's done in the dark will be brought to the light, and everybody around you will be hurt. And not only that, everybody else will pay the penalty with you. Next thing, final thing. All right, so I've sinned, I've messed up, I've cursed, I've done whatever the problem is. The last thing I've got to do is have confession. Now, we don't call confession in the Baptist church where you go and sit in a little room and talk to a priest. That's not confession. All right? Confession is where you go to who? God the Father. And you tell him, hey, here's what I've done. I've slept with Bathsheba. I've messed up. I've sinned. I've lied. I've cheated. I've murdered. I've committed adultery. I've deceived. I've caused famine. God asks you to forgive. Amen. And at that moment, guess what happens? He forgives you. Amen. He forgives you right then, Rex. No longer am I a slave to sin. Sure, I messed up. How many's ever messed up? Every one of us. We mess up probably weekly, but the moment I say, God, forgive me, He does it just then. So, no longer do I have to wag around this baggage of what I've done in the dark, what I shouldn't have done, but now God forgives me. And David repented, and God gave him the strength to move on. Although it was a horrible mistake, He still gave him the grace to move on. There's not a one of you in here that doesn't have something in your life that you don't regret. Not a one of them. Maybe some of the young ones don't, but any of us that's got any age on us at all has things in our life we wish we could erase. There's things I wish I could erase. There's things everyone can. But unfortunately, I can't. I cannot go back and redo. Cannot go back and undo. It's over with. It's done with. It's just simply sin. But there comes a time in there, if I've not asked for forgiveness, not confessed, not repented, see, David saw the error of his ways. He said, it has cost me so much. For what those two eyes saw, what God planted in his mind. Then he sent his servants down there to fetch her. Gets her to his house. Instead of running back in and closing the door and not watching and looking at her, he began to lust. And that sin began to grow in his mind. And he realized later on what a horrible, horrible mistake he had made because what his eyes saw. Although the penalty of sin was still there, God's forgiveness was there. You all may sin and mess up. You may mess your life totally up. But there's always grace at the foot of the cross. Amen? And you know, this story, although he married Bathsheba, he tried to make it right. Their whole relationship started out with sin. And I tell people, when you start out a relationship or anything in life with sin, it will always cost you. Always cost you. Now, I don't know what Bathsheba thought about her new husband. But in her mind, she had to know he killed the man I love. Her first husband. But at that moment in life, at that point in history, she couldn't stand up against him. Of course, it would probably cost her her life. Yet, David had to pay for the error of his ways. Some of you in here this morning, you're paying for your sin. Jesus already paid the penalty, paid the price for it. But a lot of us, after we look back and we look at our sins, we think, if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be where I am today. If I hadn't been an alcoholic, if I hadn't done the drugs, if I hadn't cheated, if I hadn't lied, if I hadn't been a deceptive person, if I hadn't been an adult, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And some of us will spend our lifetime thinking what's done in the dark stays in the dark. But in reality, what's done in the dark always comes to the light. This morning as we get ready for an invitation, I want you to think about your life. All right? A lot of us have sins that we have committed. We've not asked forgiveness. That we have packed around, some of you for weeks, months, come on kids, weeks, months, and years. And those sins have grown. And now you take one sin that you committed 5 years ago and you cover it up with another. And another. And another. And it just keeps piling up. It's time to erase all that and start over. This morning as we stand, no one looking around, every head bowed and eye closed. Let me talk to you just a minute. All right? I'm not here to embarrass you. I wouldn't embarrass you for $1 million. That's not my job. My job this morning is to help you. And how many of you say, preacher, there's things in my life that I know I've not confessed to God. Pray for me. Just slide your hand up that way. Amen. God sees those hands. God sees those hands. You know, we can go through life just like David, trying to cover sin after sin after sin. Wind up costing you your reputation. Wind up costing you your family life. Wind up costing you your relationship with God. Wind up costing you everything you own, basically, for one sin. And people says, well, it's just one sin. This story, David and Bathsheba, was one sin. But it turned out to be a horrible experience. Whatever sins you're carrying this morning, they're not worth it. Whether it's one or a whole multitude, it's not worth it. Heavenly Father, we come to you. Lord, I thank you for the folks that was honest enough to raise their hands. Lord, they know they've messed up. They know they've sinned. We all have. But thanks be to God, there's mercy at the cross. I can't worry about what everybody else does, but we have to answer for ourselves. So for each individual person in here, one day they will stand before you. They will give an account for their life. David will give an account for his life. God, I pray that when this group of people, as they stand before God individually, that they can stand there with integrity and say that I've fought a good fight. I've tried my hardest. Lord, for those times I've messed up, I've asked you to forgive me. In your name we pray. The altars are open. I'll meet you up front and pray with you this morning. Go one way. Don't be ashamed to speak. and you knew that you was going to die. And you knew that 2.5 hours you're going to be standing before God. Can you honestly say, everything's all right with my soul? If today was the day, you have no guarantees it's not. So is today, or is everything all right? Kids, do another verse and chorus. If you're not ready, if there's still sin there, let's get it right. Come on. Say amen. Amen. Someone have a praise on their heart to share with us.
Brother Roger, I would ask for all of you to once again pray for Troy Strange's family. And I'm so very proud of the youth, kids. They all did a great job today.
Amen. Amen. Someone else?
I'd like to praise the Lord, sending His only Son down on the cross. We don't have to live under law anymore. Grace and so much easier. All we have to do is that.
Someone else? Someone else?
I want to thank God we've got a forgiving God.
Amen.
He's still alive.
Amen. Someone else?
Just enjoy them so much. Hardworking, careful and strong.
Someone else?
Thank you for the youth. I've got a soon-to-be 3-year-old little girl that loves look up to those people. She loves Layla. Oh, there's Layla. I'm glad that Layla's here to set that example for her. Thank you for her.
Amen. Someone else? Meal downstairs. Come down and fellowship with us. You don't have to give, but what you give goes to the youth, 100% of it. And you can tell we've got a good bunch of youth, and we appreciate them, love them, and enjoy seeing them grow. Chad and having to do a great job with them. And we thank the Lord for their effort and their work. It takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication, and we need to support them all we can. Number one, pray for them. Number two, whatever else they need, we as a church need to have their back, 100% support. Invite you to come back tonight. We're going to start 30 minutes early. I've got a presentation I want to show you. Come back at 5:30 Central Time, 6:30 Eastern Time. We'll start 30 minutes early. No choir practice, so don't think about that. We'll come back 30 minutes early, and we'll start our service a little early tonight. So gather hands with the neighbor, if you would. Ronnie, dismiss us and bless the food.
Lord, we thank you for the time we had to spend in your house, Lord. We thank you for this message that we've heard this morning. And we thank you for this youth that has presented what they have this morning, Lord. We ask that you be with them each day, you guide them, strengthen them. We ask that you be with each of us, Lord. You guide us in all that we do, Lord. And Lord, we thank you for the meal that was prepared today, Lord. We ask that you bless them. Lord, we ask that you